almost 5-pounders. And I thought I was on a good pattern. It seemed like the fish were spawning. They were more moving up. We had a warming trend on Saturday, the day after my tournament ended, championship Saturday for the rest of the guys in the top 10, was going to be a full moon. So with that warming trend, the full moon coming, all those fish were flooding their way to the bank. And what I ended up figuring out was I was using a Z-Man Jackhammer, like we always like to talk about, it seems like. This is very similar to the Harris Chain tournament for the last MLF Pro Circuit, but we're taking our Razor Shad trailer. This one here is Hot Snake, so you can see it's got a little bit of chartreuse in it. I like that just to give it a little bit more color. Some of the water was dirty depending on where you were at, but this was a good all-around bait. Got a lot of bites on it, and typically they were the bigger bites. So basically day one of the tournament, I went to my area, I was flipping around, caught them on a Z-Man bang stick, and filled out a limit pretty quick. Took my jackhammer, ran a bunch of water, and I was basically just trying to generate that big strike for the rest of the day. I had a short day day one. I was boat 10, so I was doing at 2:30, so I had 8 hours to fish. I was making a pretty long run, so it was taking me 40 minutes to an hour depending on where I ended up and where I ran to that day. So it was just kind of a tougher day. I ended up with 10 something after day one. Day two I went back out, fished some of the same water, fished some new water, and I caught them better. Each day I was catching 20 to 30 fish, but it was just getting that size that was a challenge. I caught, I believe, 13 and a quarter or something like that on day two. So I ended up finishing in 102nd out of 226. Not what I was looking for. Probably gonna, or it is gonna ruin my shot at making the elites, or at least giving me that option. But the good news, I go back to Lake Oneida for the next one. That's one of my favorite lakes. Done pretty well. I won an open there, a couple BFLs, so I'm looking forward to getting that tournament going. Just a quick overview of the rods and reels we were using. Like I said, we were throwing the 1/2 ounce jackhammer, Razor Shad, and Hot Snakes. It's a green pumpkin jackhammer. Rod, it's a favorite. It's a Phantom cranking. It's the Fat Glass series. It's a 7.4. It's a medium heavy. It's a great chatterbait rod. I really like that glass because when I throw it out there, hook those fish up, it keeps them pegged and they can't jump and throw it. It's an awesome rod for that. Line, I got Seaguar. This is a 17-pound Invis-X Soleus XCS reel. It's a 7.3-to-1, so that let me keep this bait moving pretty fast. I was covering a lot of water with it. And then my flipping setup, I was using a Hayabusa straight shank hook. It's the FPP straight. It's a 5.0. This is the HD version, so I was throwing a heavy hook, and I was throwing on a lighter weight. This is an Angler Tungsten. It's a 1/4 ounce weight, and it was important to have that slower fall, I would say. I think gave those fish a chance to react to it. It was someone would grab it before it ever hit the bottom, and that's just because they were on beds, they were spawning, and you could work your bait real slow in there with that Z-Man bang stick. We got bags full of them. I was taking this and just Texas rigging it. You can see this is the black blue laminate. It's got a little bit of purplish hint to it as well, but just like this, rigging that up. I was sliding it up onto that Hayabusa hook here. It's got that little monofilament guard that holds your bait up. Went right in there. And then what's great about these, if you haven't seen the other video that I did recently in the test tank, this bait, when it hits the bottom, it stands straight up. So it's got these little fingers, and basically they're giving the finger to the fish, and it come over and grab it, and they really like to suck that sucker up. So you want to check out the Z-Man bang stick, especially when you're fishing around areas that have spawners going on. The rod and reel for setup for these, it's a Hex. It's a 7'6". It's a heavy action rod. Down in Florida, I was using that 7.8 Mark Daniels Jr. Hex rod, so that one's a little bit heavier and longer. This guy's a little more finessey. Well, not finessey is not the right word. It's a little bit lighter, just because I was pitching around those trees there, and I was pulling them out. I wasn't getting them wrapped up in a bunch of grass, so I was throwing fluorocarbon. This is Seaguar Tatsu. This is 20-pound line. We told you that Angler Tungsten weight. I was pegging it, and 8 1-to-1 Soleus XCS reel, my favorite. That was important because I like to make as many pitches as I can in a day, so when that bait would hit the bottom, I'd let it hit, shake it a couple times, that tail stands up on the bang stick, and then I reel up real quick, and that 8 1-to-1 just lets you pick up so much line so fast. It's really good for getting your bait and presenting it as quickly as you can. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. If you're looking for any favorite products, use the code GB20. It'll save you 20% off. Check out favoriteusa.com. If you have any other questions, looking forward to hearing. I'm about to wrap this up. I'm out on the James River again today. I was doing a little scouting. I come back here in mid-June for the 5th MLF Pro Circuit tournament of the year. So I'm looking forward to that, trying to get a little more prepared. One of these times, I'm going to get the James River back. It's burnt me 3 times now. I've been here 3 times, 3 tournaments. Don't believe I've come above 100th place yet. So we got some work cut out for us, but I'm looking forward to it. I really like how this place sets up, and we'll see what happens. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Starting to get hot.
Yeah, dude, we need to do some big bait fishing down there for peacocks.
That'd be sweet. I'd be way into that.
Yeah, dude, it's super cool. You just get on the seawalls and fish the white pipes.
Coming out?
Yeah. Any white pipe, they are there.
Huh. What do they just wait for stuff to get washed in, or what's the deal?
No, they're just, what it is they're white irrigation pipes for like people's yards. They just, what it does is just gives them some sort of cover that sticks out, and they get underneath them. They're on every single one of them. It's wild.
Yeah, I want to do that. I haven't. Yeah, we only really peacock fish storm one time, and then I'll get my oil changed down there last